Time now for Speakeasy with Geri Ellzey.
Thank you for joining me today. This is a wonderful day. My guest and I have seniors graduating tonight, and we're kind of in the clouds. We're so excited about it, but for the next 20 minutes, we're going to be talking about Bayek cigars. Okay. Donnie Britton is our guest today. He's manager of the cigar factory here in Selma, and I had the best time last Wednesday. Went to the cigar factory. We took the minicam, talked to some of the ladies that worked there, some of the gentlemen also. We had a real good time. Loveliest people there, friendly, and learned a lot about making cigars. Mr. Britton, how long have you been at the cigar factory? A few days?
I've been there since 16 years old. I started,
been there a long time.
as a kid in school, 36 years.
Isn't that something? And you are now the manager of the cigar factory, and do you enjoy doing this? The responsibility and everything?
Yes,
do you? Let's talk a little bit about the history of cigars and tobacco. I noticed something in the brochure that you gave me, that cigar smoking or having cigars is a new world product. I didn't know that. I thought maybe it came over from the old world.
That's correct, Jerry. When Columbus came over to this country, he landed in what's now Puerto Rico. He found the Indians in that area smoking crude-made cigars. And it just expanded from there as the Dutch came into this country. They started marketing the cigars in Europe.
Where did they get their tobacco from in those days? Was it in Puerto Rico and around in that section?
Yes, in South American, Caribbean-type countries. And the Dutch exported snuff. They used it in a snuff form. And even the kings and queens of England had their little snuff boxes that they sniffed up their noses. This was the first way, and then they started exporting the cigars, and then finally it went into cigarettes.
Now, as far as cigar smoking is concerned in our section of Alabama, in the Selma area, tell me a little bit about the history of your cigar factory.
The present cigar factory started in 1941 with Mr. Arthur Lewis making the old John Ruskin Florida Melba cigar.
And he was a fine man.
He surely was. And I started to work for him. In 1955, Bayek Cigars bought out the I. Lewis company, and we installed modern machinery, more effective machinery, high efficiency machinery.
In the meantime, you'd also been into the service. You had finished school. You had come back to the cigar factory.
That's correct.
What were you've learned how to do it all then.
Well, you never have all the answers, you know, but it's a challenge every day.
You know, I noticed, and I mentioned it to you when we were walking around looking at the machinery and how cigars are made, that you have the nicest, homiest atmosphere in the factory. And I just wondered, what do you contribute to that?
Well, I like to think that we have the best people in the industry in the city of Selma and anywhere in the state of Alabama.
Some very talented people.
I think so, yes.
Let's talk about what you've brought right now, and I also want to tell the audience that a little later on we are going to interview Naomi Wall and Nanny Johnston, who are very fine wrappers of one of their finest cigars. They're very talented ladies, and we talked to them a little bit. We're going to have that on in a moment. I want you to show me, you know, what you brought, also to cut a cigar like you did for me that day, you know, at the factory.
Could I start by cutting one?
Yeah, that'd be great. And by the way, I've got a box of Bayek cigars here, Bayek cigars, and this is imported natural wrapper cigar here, and this is in a tube.
Tube, that's right. It's a plastic tube. It's humectally sealed so that we don't lose any moisture. It's just as fresh a year after it gets out on the market as it is before.
Okay, I'll let you do that now.
Okay. This outer leaf of tobacco is called a wrapper. See if I can get this open.
Okay. I found this real interesting. My daddy was a cigar smoker. My husband's father was a cigar smoker. Bill sometimes smoked cigars, my husband, and I have never, now look at this, folks. That's the outer wrapper.
That's the outer leaf of tobacco. This is grown in Honduras.
All right, now this is what the ladies were doing that we're going to be looking at a little bit later on. They were wrapping this outer layer.
That's correct. They were stretching it across a die, which has suction on it, and they can stretch the wrapper. And we give them so much tobacco and expect them to get so many cigars from it.
Oh,
It
really?
don't always work
Oh,
out.
so they're trying to do the, like, I think it was Nanny said, trying to do the best job she could.
That's correct. And I would like to say that I think we have the best cigar makers in the United States today. This next leaf of tobacco that you see is what we call a binder. This is a natural binder. We do have some that we put on a roll for making more or less expensive cigars. That's a natural leaf of the binder that's grown up in Connecticut area. And then on the inside, you have what we call the filler.
Oh, I just find that fascinating.
And this is the sun-grown
And
tobacco.
it smells so good, too. Sun-grown.
Sun-grown. It's grown out in the sun right now.
Do you have different ways that it's grown?
Some of it's grown under the shade. They'll put up big netting and
I've seen that.
it's grown under a shade. That causes a light tobacco. But on cigars, you know, we don't mind if it's being on the dark side or not.
All right. Now, what are we going to do next? Are we going to look at the...
This is what we call a long filler that we just looked at. Our full leaves of tobacco. See if I can get this one open.
Ooh, I find that fascinating. That's beautiful.
That's a full leaf of tobacco, and that's where we use more expensive cigars. It takes 3 girls to operate the machine there. On the less expensive cigars, we grind that up and we can put it into a hopper, and it takes less labor. This is one of the less expensive cigars.
I noticed something else about your cigar factory that I found that's the cleanest place I've ever seen. Nothing on the floor. You know, it just was just impeccably clean.
It's a hard job to keep it clean, you know, it's continuous.
With all the tobacco you're wrapping and everything.
That's correct. This is what we call short filler, or ground up tobacco, and this is used in a less expensive cigar.
And also, this is one of those that comes on a sheet, this wrapper.
That's correct. Which, similar to this, is 100% tobacco.
Is that tobacco?
That's 100% tobacco.
Really?
Other than the ingredients that holds it together. And we pulverize it, we've made a flour out of it, and we run it out like a sheet of paper. Still tobacco. It's no bleach.
Can I smell it?
You surely may.
It sure is. That's what it is. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Our guest today on Speakeasy is Donnie Britton, who is manager of Beck's Cigar Factory here in our community. Julian Elmore, a very talented cameraman, went with us last Wednesday out to the Cigar Factory, and he did some wonderful footage with the minicam, and we're going to see an interview now with Nanny Johnston and Naomi Wall. We're also going to let Mr. Britton take us on a camera tour of some of the machinery and just exactly what's going on in the Cigar Factory. Right now, you'll see the interview. Naomi Wall is our guest right now, and she is wrapping cigars. Naomi, I appreciate you talking to me a little bit. How many do you do in an average day?
66 to 69, an average day, unless I'm broke down.
And you're talking about thousands.
Thousands.
Is this work dangerous at all? Do you have to watch what you're doing very carefully?
Sometimes. Most of the time, I had to lay around for so long until I just know what I'm doing.
Do you ever just sit here and think about your family or things at home? What do you think about?
I have to think about my grandbaby, but most of all, because someone had to keep him every day while his mother worked. and I think about him daily.
What makes you so good at this, do you think?
Well, I have been laying them so long that I have gotten used to laying them, and it's natural to me.
How long have you been doing it?
Oh, about 31 years.
31 years, that is a long time. Right now in your life, if you could do anything you wanted to do, what would you do?
Well, I guess I would still love to make cigars.
Very good. Nanny Johnston has agreed to talk to us, and I really do appreciate it because she's got a very big job here, and she has to be very careful. How long have you been wrapping cigars?
Well, I come back 5 years ago, but I will come out here one time and stay for 13 years.
You've been doing it a long time.
Right.
What do you think about why you're wrapping these cigars?
Oh, I think about it. I'm going to try to do the best I can do with them.
Well, that's wonderful. What about the job is dangerous? What do you have to watch for?
Just so you don't put your hand into nothing where you get hurt on, like that crimper or over into that dye over there or anything.
What safety precautions can you take?
By just keeping your hands clear of everything.
You do have a foot brake, though, don't you?
Yeah, we got a foot brake down there.
Uh-huh. If you could do anything in the world, if somebody came along and said you could do anything you wanted to do tomorrow, what would you do?
I got to stay at home.
And do nothing, maybe.
Right, take a day off.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Didn't you enjoy that? I really loved it. I thought those ladies were just marvelous. I really enjoyed visiting with us. And Mr. Britton has brought some of the leaves that Naomi and Nanny and some of the other ladies were stretching across. Now, is this where they try to get the most cigars that they can out of this?
That's correct. They try to
Now,
get
if you
as many
didn't
as they
do
can.
that, there might be some waste there, but like it is, they try to do the very best, like Nanny said, do the very best that she can by getting the most out of this.
That's correct. If you're dealing with $15 a pound tobacco, and that's or $8 a pound tobacco, as this is, then you want to get as many cigars as possible out of it.
Now, those ladies said that they wrap 69. We were there at 1 o'clock. They had been at work since what time that morning?
The day shift comes to work at 6:30 in the morning.
All right, they'd been there since 6:30, and they had wrapped, each one had wrapped about 6,900 cigars at that point.
That's correct, because the normal production runs from 6,300 to 6,900, with some occasional person making 7,200, 7,700.
What time does the shift end?
The shift ends at 3 o'clock.
Okay. We've also got some footage here that we're going to look at right now, and we're just waiting for it to come up on the screen, and Mr. Britton is going to talk about what you'll be seeing.
This is a part of a cigar making machine. You'll see some of the little mechanisms that has taken place here, some of the mechanics of it. It originally is kind of like an old cigarette roller. You have to make a bunch, and then this girl is stretching a leaf of tobacco across the die, which has air that pulls it down.
And there's no other way to do this. I mean, this really makes a fine cigar, is to hand do this.
That's correct. This is not a wholly handmade cigar. It's a machine-operated type cigar. It's mechanized.
Do you have much trouble keeping these machines going? Do you have much repair to them?
Yes, it takes, one mechanic is responsible for about 14 machines, sometimes 12 machines. It's according to what we run in that particular day. But it's constant maintenance on them, constant cleaning.
Are you folks pretty careful, too? You don't have much of a accident rate, I hope not.
No, we've been awarded on several occasions by the National Safety Council for our safety record. Occasionally we have somebody that gets hurt, but within the last 10 years there's been no serious accidents
That's
other than
wonderful.
lifting. Nobody got hurt on the
All right,
screen.
what are you seeing here? This is what you brought me today, is these individual T-wrapped cigars.
This is where the cigars are being inserted into a tube. The tube moves on down the line, and it has a cap put on it. That's what you see there. This little machine is putting a cap on the end of it to maintain the proper humidity within the cigar itself, and no way for it to escape. So a year later, if you decided to smoke these cigars, they would be fresh as the
So a
day that they
good
were made.
cigar is one that has moisture, but it's not, it has to be just right then.
That's correct.
You showed me a place where the people dry these too. Well, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
That room?
This is, we do use a little paste on the end of these cigars, and it's made out of a jello type solution, and we have to let them dry out just a little bit.
Okay, we need to take a break. We'll be right back. I enjoyed our visit to Bayeux Cigar Factory today, and thank you, Mr. Britton, for coming and sharing everyone with us, the factory, and thank you for sharing yourself.
Pleasure to be here, Jerry. Thank you.
We have enjoyed being with you today. We want to wish the seniors at Selma High School a real good graduation tonight. I think they've got about 300 graduating. My son is graduating. He's a sweet boy. I'll cry. And Barbara Britton is graduating too, and we're real proud of them. So I want to give you a little thought for the day. And I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. Nellie Kate Tepper will be with you. She's got 2 weeks lined up that are going to be great. You're going to have a good time. I'll miss you, and I'll be anxious to get back and be with you. I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day. I'd rather one should walk with me than merely show the way. The eye's a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Fine counsel is confusing, but example's always clear. And the best of all the preachers are the men who live their deeds, for to see the good in action is what everybody needs. You have a real good weekend. I'll miss you for the next 2 weeks. Bye now.